Okay. Okay, can you hear me out there? All right, let's kick this thing off. It's super meeting time, EMAR, from my left-hand side over here. And pay attention here now. From the left-hand side, you guys are all going to shout super, and right in time, you guys over on this side. And remember, you're getting this direction from a blind guy. So super over here and meeting over here. Let's go. Super. One more time. Let's get this thing kicked off. Welcome people on time. You guys make some noise. I am Rod Barker, your 2023 president, and whoever thought that a blind guy would be up here introducing the super meeting for EMAR? My God, this is amazing. All right. We have so much going on today. I hope, who enjoyed the show out there? Who enjoyed the tour of businesses out there? Oh, yeah. Absolutely amazing. I toured around. Of course, we all needed more time. I know that. But I'm so excited for what we have coming up on the show today at your super meeting. First up, though, someone who actually needs no introduction, but I get to do it because I'm the one on this stage with the microphone. So someone who needs no introduction. He has been president twice, served on so many committees, I can't even take all the time to tell you about all of them, but also is a major investor. Welcome, Greg Whistler.
Woo! All right. Thanks, Rod. I really appreciate that. What was that? I got fans.
I want to see the dolphin.
Nope, no dolphin right now. All right. Thank you very much for having me up here, Rod. I appreciate it. We're going to talk a little bit about RPAC, but before I do that, at the beginning of the meeting, it was brought to my attention that a member of the realtor community had passed away recently. It was Janice Hall, who's with KW over in Vancouver. She is a past president of the Women's Council of Realtor and also a past president of Clark County Association of Realtors. So if you do anything in Washington, you've probably heard of her or bumped into her or something like that. I mean, she's been very influential over there. So I just wanted to take a quick moment and just have a little moment of silence for Janice. And so let's just do that right now. All right, thank you for doing that with me. I appreciate it. I hate to take the room down with that to start off, but we'll bring it back up. So today, I'm here to talk with you a little bit, talk with you realtors about RPAC and about being a major investor in RPAC. It's a very important thing. There are people, all around the state, all around the nation that are looking for more money. The government's always looking for a little bit more money, and there's some important things that they're trying to do that they need the money for, but we want to make sure to protect private property rights. We want to make sure to protect those things that that our customers enjoy about home ownership, like the ability to deduct their interest, the ability to make an exchange if they've got investment property, all of those different things. And we do that by having realtor champions at the state legislature and at the federal legislature, people that believe in the value of home ownership, that it makes better community, that it passes on generational wealth to the family that follows behind the person who buys the home. There are a lot of good things created for Americans by home ownership, and I know that you all know that and that you all believe in that because you're working in the industry where we create that opportunity for our clients. So, just a few of the things that I want to do today. I'd like to take a moment to recognize our major investors that have invested at EMAR in the past. So here's just a short list from last year's major investors for EMAR. Greg Whistler, who's that guy? He was a Golden R. Sue O'Halloran was a Crystal R. And then we had several Sterling R's. Vicki Arnold, I saw her name on the list, but I don't think she made it in today. Did Vicki make it in? No. Anthony Castro, I know I saw him in the house. And then George Perkins and Nancy Perkins are both with major investors at EMAR. And what I want to do, even if I know there are other major investors that are not members of EMAR. If you're a major investor, I want you to stand up so that everybody can see all the people that are major investors who have committed and invested their money in making sure that we have people who listen to us. Come on, stand up. Come on, take a moment. Just stand up real quick. Right there, right there. Got Alex Fan in the back, major investor. Woo! Got a couple of people. So these are people who have said, I see the value in this. It is making better things for my customers. It's making better things. It's protecting my business because my customers have these abilities still to do things. One of the things that I see people challenged with a lot is I talk with agents every once in a while about being a major investor, and they say, you know, all you guys do is you support candidates from one political party. You support the same political party all the time. And I want to tell you that that's 100% untrue. That we support, it's almost equally, candidates from both political parties, because there are candidates in both political parties that understand the value of home ownership. So if you subscribe to a particular political party, I can guarantee you that there are representatives that are from that party that believe as you do in the value of home ownership and the private property rights. So if you've been holding back on being a major investor because you think we only contribute to one party, we don't. Well, we do. We do contribute to the realtor party, the things that are important to realtors like private property rights, okay? But it's not, you know, the traditional D's and R's or whatever you want to call them. So it is easy to be a major investor. So if you invest a few $100s in your business for doing advertising or things like that every single month, you could be a major investor in RPAC. You can be a major investor in RPAC for as little as $85 a month. So that works out to about $1,000. That's a sterling R commitment. I know we're a couple months into the year, so you might have to front load that a little bit, but you could be a major investor this year for $85 a month. So hopefully you'll do that. We've recognized those. Here is one of the reasons that I believe that it's important. Right now, the East Metro Association and the Portland Metropolitan Association have banded together and gotten a little bit of support from the state and I believe also from the national to try and combat a measure that is being put on the ballot by Multnomah County. It is a measure to tax all capital gains, regardless of where people are at in their financial ability to pay. It's currently set, if it passes, to be 0.75%. And there's no cap on how much they can raise it. That's one of the things that concerns us. The other reason that we're concerned about it is that it's to fund things that there's already funding out there for. So is it really necessary to have another tax to provide services that are already out there? But probably the biggest thing is that capital gains is anything. It's more than just houses. It's the stocks and bonds you've invested in your retirement accounts. It's the business equipment that your company might have bought to run the family-owned small business or something like that. We need to have people that are listening and protecting private property rights, and we do that by being major investors and helping support those people so that they're willing to listen to us. Let's be honest, the politicians listen just a little bit better when we've put a couple bucks in their pocket to support a campaign or whatever we've done. Just a couple of proud statistics. I think we had 87% or something like that of the candidates we supported at the state level get elected in the last election cycle. So they understand the value of what we're talking about and they're willing to work with us on it. So lots of good things going on. One thing I want to do, if you're not currently a major investor or you haven't made your 2023 pledge yet, anybody want to do that right now?
I'll do it right now, Greg.
Woo! All right. Yes, let's do that. Anybody else? All right, I got a hand down here. I got a hand over there. Nice. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the PAC. If you guys want to see me afterwards, we'll make sure to get your contact information so we can get you a link so you can go online and make that payment. Thank you for supporting the PAC and taking a couple minutes to listen to me today. There is a QR code on the screen, so if you want to scan that QR code, you can start making your payments. Make your investment in your future and in your business by supporting the PAC. Thank you. Here you go, Rob. Second. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing, Greg. The investment is in all of our future. Please make the investment. That is absolutely amazing. All right, let's try it again. Super. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. All right. The next person we have coming up is another amazing person. Channel 6 Sporting News, lawyer's title. The resume goes on and on and on. Adam Bjornsson. Give him a hand.
And thank you to Rod, and thank you to Greg. I appreciate you guys. How we doing? You guys good? Yeah, we got you guys all warmed up a little bit. I was talking with Lee Toft a little bit, a lot actually over the last 4 or 5 months. I said, I got one request. I said, make sure on my desk that I have a TV because it is March Madness. So all these tournaments going on. He came through. Well done, Lee. All right, big thanks to all of you guys in the audience and online as well. This is going to be a terrific day. We've got a lot for you guys to sit back, soak in, be a big sponge. And many of you probably saw the snow today, and we're like, I'm not going to risk it this time, given what we saw, 2 weeks ago. It was a little daunting, but some of you decided to join online, which is terrific. First order of business, tryouts for the EMAR All-Star Band are going to be happening here very soon, so that's going to take place after the raffle. I'm excited to be in Troutdale today. This is the 16th annual East Metropolitan Association of Realtors Super Meeting. And as you just heard, our goal here, our goal here is to raise funds for our PAC, but that's not all we hope to achieve today. We've got a collection of 5 strong panelists on hand, and we have set the stage for a very lively discussion that we're going to have today, and about the current real estate market and various ways to not only survive but thrive when things are a little bit challenging. So I think we're all going to learn a thing or two by the time this day is over. Last time I was here, this time last year, I didn't have glasses. Now I need them. So this is what happens. For those of you that don't wear glasses, it's coming. It's coming soon. All right. Before I go any further, I want to thank Judson Roy Staging for the fine furnishings up here. Give them a round of applause, please. Makes me feel right at home. In fact, I just texted my wife and asked her if she could swing by and drop off my PJs and my slippers. So it is very nice up here. Okay, let's, speaking of feeling right at home, NAR Chief Economist, Dr. Lawrence Yoon, he's got a message to share with us all. So we got about 10 minutes of this. So please tell us, what's up, Doc?
Hello. I am Lawrence Yoon, Chief Economist with National Association of Realtors, and I was asked by the East Metro Association of Realtors, Mike Schultz, to speak briefly about the market condition that is fast changing. And certainly we saw some major decline in sales activity throughout last year in 2022. So this year in 2023, first, I want to thank also local association president Rob Barker for inviting me to participate. So in 2023, in the new year, what can we anticipate? Because we have seen some stirring buyer interest in the new year. Perhaps it's part of their New Year's resolution. But the mortgage rate is still a challenging environment. Right now, in mid-May, almost approaching 7%, just as we hit 7% mark in early November of last year, which essentially killed off the market. Very quickly, I'm going to post some slides onto the screen, and then go from there because I am a visual person, and of course, with so much statistics, seeing it visually is better. So hold 1 second as I upload it into the screen. Okay, there we are. So first, this is home sales trend in 3 boxes. The first box is pre-COVID, so percent change from 1 year before. And as you can see, very little change pre-COVID, little up, little down. Then in the middle box, we had a truly COVID real estate boom. Sales rising 30%, 40% from 1 year ago. Then last year, rising rates, pulling back the sales activity. So for the country as a whole, last year, the unit sales activity were down 18%. West Coast, whether it is California, Oregon, or state of Washington, or even Idaho, saw a major decline in unit sales activity last year because of the higher price points out in the West Coast region. So it's all about mortgage rates. So what I put on this chart is from September of last year. September, mortgage rates were rising, but it was still under 6%. Then it went up to 7% by early November, which essentially killed off the demand. Then interestingly, throughout the remainder of the November and December and even up to end of January, mortgage rates were sliding down on the news that inflation rate was coming down. Consumer price inflation no longer rising sharply. It is still rising, but no longer rising sharply. So some good news on coming inflation brought the interest rate down. Then the past couple of weeks, inflation number is showing stubbornly high conditions. And also in Washington, where I am right now, they released a report about the U.S. federal budget deficit, saying that it is out of control. Very large budget deficit, also raising the cost of borrowing. So mortgage rate, at least through last week, was up to 6.5%. But don't be surprised if we hit this week at 7% or next week at 7%. So a little reversal in the interest rate environment. In the meantime, home prices have been achieving record high levels. Sales have come down, but not prices in any meaningful way. Maybe in the downtown region in Portland with so much trouble related to the homeless population, drugs, or overdose, people falling across. So maybe in downtown, you are seeing some notable decline in condominium prices. No one wants to live in that environment. No one wants to purchase a property in that environment. But out in the suburbs where you are located, maybe you are not seeing any big declines in prices, or maybe the prices are actually holding on. Now, this graph represents the greater metro areas, which would include across the river out in Vancouver, Washington, along with the greater Portland metro. But the interesting part of this is that back in the year 2000, the median home price in the greater Portland region was under $200,000. And you are wondering whether or not you should have purchased 2 or 3 extra properties back then. Or consider in 2010, in the midst of the foreclosure crisis, prices were low. And if you were purchasing, certainly you would have done very well. So home prices still holding on despite the fact that home sales have come down. And the reason why home prices are holding on is because there's very little inventory. As you all know, inventory level today are still below pre-COVID days. And look at this. Homeowners under stress, very non-existent. Mortgage delinquency of more than 3 months are at historically low. Unlike the peak that you saw during the subprime lending implosion days, or the early days of COVID when people had the mortgage forbearance and they did not pay mortgage. But look where it is today. Historically low mortgage delinquency rate, and that's why home prices are holding on and expected to hold on going into the upcoming months or even going through the next year. The inventory level, focus on the blue line, that is the MLS. All the homes in the MLS right now at historically low levels. While the builders are seeing more inventory, which is the orange line on the bottom, whether it is an empty lot, unfinished construction, or actual completed. So the new home inventory is rising, and you can say that it's closely approaching the MLS data condition, but overall inventory still remains low. Job market condition, state of Oregon is showing 2.2%. It means that prior to COVID, where every state had record high employment in every state prior to COVID. Then the COVID came, interrupted our lives, but in the latest, in the state of Oregon, there is 2.2% more jobs compared to pre-COVID days. Idaho is zooming, 7.2% more jobs. If you see orange or red color, this is not good. For example, out in Michigan, they're still down compared to pre-COVID days in terms of employment. But at least Oregon, you are in the positive territory. So 50 state variation on this graph. Focusing specifically on the Portland, Vancouver metro market, you see the steady employment from year 2000 onwards. Little fluctuation in the middle, subprime lending, foreclosure crisis brought the employment down. But you were at record high pre-COVID, and now after the COVID disruption, setting a new high in terms of jobs. Jobs naturally means building up a potential home buying demand into the future. So one concern is here in Washington, the orange line shows all the money coming into Washington, the revenue. Yet the blue line shows how much we are spending for everything, all combined. So this budget deficit is one big concern about what the direction of mortgage rates. So the annual forecast is that this year in 2023, I think that we will continue to see some negative home sales in the early part of the year. Maybe in the second half of the year, it becomes neutral, and maybe by the fourth quarter, little higher sale in fourth quarter compared to recently completed fourth quarter in 2022. So overall unit sales, I expect to be down about 11%. Prices, essentially no change, while 2024, continuing job creation, and I think by 2024, mortgage rate will be at 5.5%. with much calming down in inflation. So with this outlook, best to you all in your business plans and business activity. And again, I want to thank you all for inviting me, and I wish you best, President Rod Barker, in your year as the local association president. So thank you very much for giving me and this short video, and have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you, Dr. Yoon. And yeah, glad to hear it's not going to be all doom and gloom out there, and that there's going to be some opportunities to exist, to succeed out there that will exist. We're going to hear more about finding the silver linings in a cloudy market with our panelists here in just a minute. But first, who likes prizes? Raise your hands. All right, you're going to need to do this. Okay. So the first one, this is a golden opportunity for someone to win a prize right out of the gate by correctly answering our first trivia question. And so all you have to do is raise your hand if you feel you know the answer. We have got Teresa Kuhn over here to my stage left and Jean Farr, stage right. They're going to be handling things because I remember last year these lights were so bright and I couldn't see anyone. It was like just a complete vacant house. But the first question is sponsored by Kim Dodge Mortgage. Ready? All right, here we go. What is the 2023 loan limit for an FHA reverse mortgage? I see one hand back there and one up there. You see the options here? A, 700,000, B, 800,000, C, over $1 million, or D, none of the above.
So
Over $1 million.
D.
Oh yeah. Wait, who said that? I heard.
Over $1 million C.
Correct. That is correct. Yep. The 2023 loan limit for an FHA reverse mortgage is C. Kim Dodge tells us the exact figure is $1,089,300. So congratulations. Prize is coming. Okay, time for us to introduce the first of our 5 panelists, Premier Property Group LLC broker and outgoing EMAR president, none other than Lisa Bettendorf. All right, the floor is yours. Tell everyone about who you are, what you do.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. I think I have met most of you in the audience. I'm Lisa Bettendorf, and I've been in real estate. This is my 29th year, so almost 3 decades. The best part about being in real estate for almost 3 decades is I still love it every day. I love it. I love helping people. I love working with all of you, and I'm very excited about that. So I'm going to keep my introduction short today, but I would like everyone to give a round of applause to the EMAR Super Meeting Committee, because this is a great event, so thank you.
Always is. Thank you, Lisa. Hard to believe you've almost got 30 years in the industry.
I know.
Did you start when you were 3?
Yeah, it looks so great. Yeah.
That first transaction had to have been a playhouse, I'm sure.
Oh, you got that one from Lee Toff.
I did. Uh-huh. All right, and now a word from Director's Mortgage.
Hi, EMAR. Julie Farrell with Director's Mortgage. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to be here today. We are all about relationships and make sense lending, and I couldn't be at a better company. If you've got questions on financing a manufactured home and park, or 160 acres of filberts, or a barn dominium, or new construction on any of those properties, I would love to be your resource for all of those. Of course, I do all of the conventional FHA, VA, jumbo financing. We also have portfolio financing. So if you've got an investor that is looking to purchase a home and flip it and make some improvements to it, we can finance all of that with 10% down. I'd love to talk to you about what it could look like for you and your clients. Please reach out to me. I've got a table in the lobby. I hope you'll come out and visit me there. I've got materials and some really cool Julie Does Loan swag. Thank you so much for your time and for allowing me to participate in EMAR's annual super meeting.
All right, so we have now just met Julie Farrell on the screen. Now it's time to meet her in the flesh. Please give it up for Julie Farrell. Good job, girlfriend. And you might not find a bigger Jeopardy fan amongst everyone in here today than Julie.
That's true. That's very true.
Tell everyone about you and how you got started in the industry.
Oh, wow. How I got started was through a temp agency. I had no idea. I was a soil science major.
Okay.
Yeah. So my family's super proud of that degree. I also got a degree in broadcasting because I wanted a real broad spectrum. But no, finance was never in my wheelhouse, but it absolutely fit my personality in a way that I could have never fathomed. Far better than soil science.
I guess so, but you got a background in broadcasting.
I do.
Watch my back.
Well, I have a degree. I don't know about a background, but a degree.
All right, Julie, thank you. And I also understand today is your birthday, so happy 25th.
Oh, thank you.
Half of my job is to kill her with kindness. She knows that. We go back many years.
You're so good at that.
Well, we appreciate you sharing your time with us today. And as a lender, I'm sure you can appreciate that we're all looking forward to the panel discussion with keen interest.
Nice play on words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of interest, I want to give another shout out to RPAC because they have got your backs, you guys, in Salem. They've got it in DC. So let's show them that we have got their back as well. So. Okay, before we meet our next panelists, let's do another round of trivia, shall we? Same rules as before do apply, so just raise your hand and either Teresa or Jean will get you. If you know the right answer, one of those two will see you. So here's the second trivia question. This one's sponsored by Fidelity National Title. In the Tri-County area, the seller can generally be expected to pay for A, lender's title policy premiums, B, inspection, according to the contract, C, early issue on new construction, or D, owner's title insurance premiums? Teresa?
D.
D, owner's title insurance premiums. That is the correct answer. Of course it is. In the Tri-County area, the seller can generally be expected to pay for owner's title insurance premiums. You guys are good. Okay, we're gonna have a few more opportunities to win some prizes here in a little bit. But our next panelist supports real estate professionals and the clients who love them. That is, of course, quite a bit of support. So I would like to think twice before agreeing to arm wrestle this woman. She's known as the real estate concierge. Please welcome Sarah Noel.
Yeah, thank you so much. So excited to be here today, mostly because I love attics. I'm on the right stage, right? We're at the Realtor Convention?
Yeah, this is
okay,
right.
so let me explain this piece. I love attics because I love real estate agents. And tell me if this resonates for you. Brand new baby realtor starts their career and they are so hungry. They just want any deal, any piece of business, anything that you will give them, and then, ooh, oh my gosh, I got a deal. There's a listing. I'm so busy. Oh geez, there's so much for me to do, right? I got pictures I gotta do. I got things I gotta do. I gotta have a meeting. Oh my gosh, and then, it's closing day, right? Whew. They are high. They got the bag. They're so ready, right? It's closing day. I'm going to go buy a car. I'm going to do all these amazing things. And then, boom, it closes. And then you see the addict really show up. Does this resonate? Hey, girl, you got an open house I could do for you? You know, you got some dead Zillow leads that you could hit me with? I can make something out of nothing. You just give me some dead leads I can call on, right? Right? And then they get a lead, and then they're back, right? And they're back on top. Meanwhile, if you have a top producer mentality, your life looks so boring, right? And there's that itchy realtor standing in your doorway. What are you doing? What are you doing in there? I'm gonna make calls for the next 3 hours. Ooh, gross, 3 hours, ooh. Then I'm gonna write my thank you cards and then go on 2 closings. Oh gosh, 2 closings. Are you buying a car? Are you buying a ring? What are you doing with those 2 closings? I'm gonna clock out at 5 o'clock because I handled everything with my clients, so they don't need to call me at 8 p.m. anymore. And then they come back tomorrow like this is a job, right? So if this resonates for you in your career, I like to take addicts and turn them into top producers. So if you want to hang out with me, go ahead and set up a discovery call. I have a 4-week coaching program where I take realtors out into the woods. We find out what you're scared of, and we bring you back and set up all your marketing for the next year. So maybe that resonates. Hopefully it doesn't.
Sarah, sponsored by Monster Energy, apparently. Way to bring it. Whatever coffee you drink, I want it.
Yeah.
I want it. All right. You have inspired many already. Okay, speaking of inspiration, stick around for the raffle giveaways, you guys. Those are going to be coming up a little bit later following the panel discussion. We are determined that you guys all leave here richer than when you arrived. So that said, we have 2 vacant seats still left to fill. And before that, let's get to a trivia question. Let's do that, because this one's a particular favorite of mine. This one is sponsored by a company that's near and dear to me. Lawyer's Title.
Hey,
where are my Lawyer's Title peeps? Hi, Dee. Hi, James. Hi, Jen. All right, get ready to raise your hands. What was the first year that EMAR held their super meeting? You guys remember right up the top. Is it 1970, 1983, 1998, or 2007? Wait. Gene's going up here. Jane's going to the top.
I don't know for sure, but maybe 1983?
Wrong. Incorrect. Wait.
B.
It's over here.
D is correct. D is correct. Who is our winner?
It's over here, Adam.
You're all winners. You're all winners. Yep, the answer is D, 2007. So we had talked about the 16th year that we've had the EMAR super meeting. So, okay, let's introduce our 4th panelist, Alexander Fan. Alex runs the Diverse Realty Group at KW Realty Professionals and was PMAR's 2021 Realtor of the Year, but we're not going to hold that against him. Please give a warm welcome to Alexander Fan.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. So, congratulations on 16 years. I feel really honored to be invited. This is my first super meeting, so I'm really happy to see you all here and you braved the roads out there with us. So, a little bit about myself. As they mentioned, this is my 16th year in real estate. Very humble beginnings, but I feel like I'm really living the dream. What we all desire to be when we get that real estate license. I came from a very humble family, little beginnings, right? Was able to purchase my first home and lost my first home through that last economic recession. And so it's certainly challenging and tough. And fast forward to today, I've been able to continue working hard, growing my business, serving my clients, serving my community. So not only was I awarded Realtor of the Year, I am really involved in our industry and community through volunteering, of course. So I am also one of our PAC trustees for our EMAR members. And I think it was maybe mentioned, but I was, sorry, it was all in my own head when they were talking. But I was also most recently chair for Oregon Realtors Diversity Committee. I've been a state director for many years now, and I really want to make this announcement to EMAR that I am running for president-elect for Oregon Realtors in April. And if I could have a moment to talk about why that's important to me, this was unrehearsed, unscripted, didn't have anything, that's how I roll. But why that's important to me is because I want to be a new face for Oregon Realtors. I want to be a new representative. And I believe I am qualified to also lead in the position. Through not only my volunteering, I also, in our realtor community, I also volunteer in my city, in my community, for several nonprofits. And when I say I'm the real deal, not only do I working with clients, but I invest in real estate. I am a major investor, as we talked about earlier. I stepped up to the next level up, which is Crystal this year, so that's a big step up for me. And it's important. That's not what I'm to talk about. Why? Sorry, you can see how nervous I am. But, you know, I love our industry. I believe it can change one's life, and we are so integrated into our community. I don't know if you knew this, but realtors on average volunteer more in the community than any other profession out there. And I know that's true. And I want to run because I would be the first Asian American president for our state. And I think it's time for that. And not only to be the first, just to say I'm the first, but because I want to give people like our next panelists light that they can be part of this too. I have other people come up to me and tell me, Alex, thank you for what you're doing for our industry. Thank you for being a leader. Thank you for doing something that I wouldn't feel like I could ever do. And that's why I want to do this, so I can help those of you maybe out there who haven't been involved in our leadership or our association to want to get more involved, to give back, to find out what we can do to continue raising the bar for the level of professionalism in our industry and serving our communities. And so I know that I won't spend more time talking about that, but please, if I haven't met you before, come out and introduce yourself to me. I'd love to talk to you and find out what's important to you and how I can serve you as our president. So thank you for giving me that time.
Alexander Fan. Good job. Thank you, Alex. Your participation today, greatly appreciated. And speaking of appreciation, my daughter just texted me. By the way, she's 7. She has a riddle that she thinks an audience of realtors might appreciate. So, you guys ready? Okay. Hi, Daddy. Why is the sea so salty? Anyone know? Need help? Because the land never waves back. Love you, Daddy. What time are you going to be home? Oh, yeah, so sweet. All right, when it comes to help, all of us in real estate, in the community, benefit from the help of our PAC, and so let's not forget by giving them the support as well. So give them a hand as they're helping us to get to that. Okay, while we are on the subject of lending a hand, let's unveil our 4th trivia question. This time it is sponsored by First Tech Federal Credit Union. I saw Derek Conrad, good buddy, great wine connoisseur is Derek. You guys know the drill by now. Raise your hands and we will do the rest from here. Okay, what is RSU income? Is it really smart underwriter income? Is it restricted stock unit income, restitution statute utility income, or retirement services universal income? I see a hand here, I see a hand there. First one. B, restricted stock unit income is correct. Did you hear the ding? Can you guys play the ding one more time for me? There you go. Multiple times, I like that. That's good. Yes, restricted stock unit income. So whenever you hear RSU, restitution statute utility, I like that. Who came up with that? That had to have been a Lee Toft move right there. All right. All right, now without any further ado, let me introduce you to our fifth and final panel member. He is a realtor with John L. Scott and leader of his own Reyes Real Estate LLC, part of Realtor Magazine's Top 30 Under 30. Please welcome Eduardo Reyes.
Thank you, sir. What's up, everyone? So first of all, thank you to everybody that pushed me to be part of this. I didn't really feel qualified, so I was just like, if there's food, I'm there. A little bit about myself. So real estate was never really something that I wanted to do. I was actually going to school down in LA for acting and modeling. It didn't go so hot, that's why I'm here. But I remembered my best friend's mom had mentioned for me to like get into real estate, so I kind of just went with my gut instinct. I drove back from LA. Discouraged that didn't work out, and as I was driving, I just like Googled what it took to be a real estate agent. So I got home, I got a part-time job at a cell phone company, and then I started my course. I was licensed within 3 months, and then I had always seen John L. Scott in the signs everywhere, so I automatically went to them. Thank you to my boss Craig, who's in the audience, who gave me an opportunity, but it just kind of took off. I started a team. I started flipping houses, and I was able to put my whole family essentially on my payroll, and my parents don't work anymore, which was the biggest goal that I had. That's why I was doing acting, so here I am.
All right, thank you, Eduardo. You've reached quite a bit of success in a relatively short amount of time, so that is exciting stuff, impressive. All right, when it comes to impressive, I cannot emphasize how much all of us in the real estate community benefit from the help of RPAC. We want to just make sure that we are hammering that point home, so let's not forget to help them help us. Okay, we are ready now to begin the panel discussion. You have met everyone. There are rules that we are going to have to put in place. To all the panelists, our goal here to promote a lively exchange between everyone up here of ideas and information. Feel free to not only answer questions, but you can pose some as well if you guys would like. Okay, we're going to start it off by, and jump in whenever you guys.
I was like, there's rules. I wasn't
rules.
prepared for rules, but
rules.
those rules seem pretty
pretty loose. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We have security in case you get out of control, though. Just want to warn you. All right, looking back on the past year, what positive outcomes or unexpected opportunities have you experienced as a result of the challenging market, and how have these experiences shaped your business moving forward? Because there have been some challenges, right? Anyone want to take that first?
I'll go ahead and take that.
Sure.
And then pass the ball to someone else. Since things have slowed down a tad bit from 2021, I think the bonus is that relationships, that when we're doing a deal, it's not just like bam, bam, bam. You can actually talk with the other agent. You can form better relationships, which will help you in the long run. So relationships are key.
No doubt. No doubt about that.
I'd love to jump in on this
Sure,
space,
please
being
do.
the only mortgage lender up here. It's been a tough transition as rates have climbed swiftly. Everyone is faced with the challenge of affordability. That's what we're hearing our clients say, right? And I think that this has been an interesting and fun year in the sense that we've gotten to become creative, innovative. Let's look back on our tenure. You've been doing this 29 years. I've been doing this 22. Taking those experiences, your 16 years, we can draw from that. But I think the thing that I love taking away from this is it's still temporary. The space that we're in right now, it's difficult and challenging, but if you're innovative, creative, it freshens things up. It makes our career path a little less daunting. Instead of looking at this as a hard marketplace, how can you set yourself apart what do you love about what you do? And if you really drive into that, I think it becomes a little more interesting and fun to go to work because you're doing things that you're passionate about. You get to have those relationships and phone calls and build new long-term relationships too. It's a neat space to be in my opinion. Tough, but interesting.
I'm gonna piggyback on the relationship because when I first started this business, obviously, like I had no idea. I probably have the less experience out of everybody here. I'm going on 5 years. I never set systems up because again, I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. So I didn't do drip campaigns. I didn't do any of that stuff that every realtor does. But I believed coming from, so I worked a part-time job at Vans. And their biggest thing was treat people with like respect and just give everybody the same treatment no matter like what they're buying. So I essentially stole that from them. And my manager was like, if you do a good job for somebody, they're gonna tell 1 or 2 people, but if you do a bad job, they're gonna tell 5, 6, or 7. And I'm like, that's so true. When you go to a bad restaurant, you essentially tell everybody that you can that it was a bad restaurant. But when you go to a good one, you tell 1 or 2 people and that's it. So I kind of stole that in my business, and I just tried to do the best job as possible that I could do. And I've never sent my clients drip campaigns. I barely like reach out to them aside from like Facebook or Instagram, which is bad, I know, but it happened so fast that I wasn't able to like put everything in place to continue that. So I just felt like the one time they met me, the relationship that I built with them the first time around, they just contact me to help them again whenever they're ready. Which is kind of crazy to think about, but the whole like thing that Vans taught me, I feel like is super correct to just treat people well and they'll remember you. So,
isn't that huge? Like everybody remembers the crummy realtor on the other side of a transaction, right?
Yeah.
And we're sitting there going, you know, at the end of the day, when they're laying out these 4 contracts, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I don't know, you know, these are all the same offer, let's say, right? And I don't know these 3 people. But this lady's really rude, right? That sense of our relationships matter more about our success in the business and building those relationships with our clients than a lot of people give credit to.
Right.
Yeah, I want to tag on what you said, Eduardo, and that's kind of like the opportunity. No matter like has less than 5 years, he's admitting he doesn't have systems or drip campaigns, and yet he can still have the level of success he's experiencing. You can come in no matter what the market is. As long as you're serving people and building those relationships and doing the right thing to build clients that will rave about you, you'll be successful. So I wanted to, like an unexpected opportunity for me, I've had a team for about 10 years, and through this last year's shift, it was hard, of course, on all of us. And I didn't realize that so many people were looking for more support and guidance. So I've actually added 4 people in the last 60 days, basically, to my squad. And that was an unexpected opportunity to see, like, oh, there are so many other brokers that, you know, just need more support, need more mentorship, need more coaching. So the fact that with my experience, I'm able to offer that and help them just helps them feel like, you know, we can do this, you know, to be a sounding board. So that's been a really unexpected surprise for me. But an opportunity in the last year, I feel like I didn't expect either, was how do we solve this housing crisis? How do we solve this affordability? And so I've been working with educating myself more about land development. How do we build the units? What's it gonna take? And so I've really gotten involved in working with more builders, more land developers, and actually we're closing this Friday on a piece of land in Salem, and we're building 40 affordable homes for the Micronesian Islander community. So a lot of opportunities are out there, for sure.
That's great.
And I think given the nature of the environment over the past year, and I think everyone in this room and online watching right now can agree that you're not doing as well as you did in the prior, 2-3 years. So how do you manage your clients' uncertainty as well as your own? That seems to be a big thing right now because there's a lot of people with cold feet still. Right? So anyone want to take that? Your own expectations versus your clients.
Well, I think I hear a lot that some people are going to wait for the interest rates to come back down, right? And I want it under 3, but the last time we saw under 3 was in 1971. So your clients might be waiting for a while. I don't believe I'll see under 3 in my lifetime again. But I think just giving them knowledge, you know, from 1971 when they started tracking mortgages, and you can probably jump in on this more than me, is the average is 7.5. So we're a little bit below average currently. So I think just giving information is powerful.
We'd all go back and buy Apple stock.
Right.
We could. Hopefully,
Right.
you should have listened to me 2 years ago. Hopefully you were telling your clients 2 years ago they should buy or refinance. And if they didn't listen to you then, well, then all the more trust to listen to you now. Well said.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think, acknowledging it, letting them know, like, hey, this is real, this is happening, this is affecting. But for me, it's always going back to the motivation. Well, why did you want to buy a home in the first place?
Exactly.
Why did you want to sell your home in the first place? Let's focus back on why. And then, as Lisa said, educating them on the historical. There's still opportunity here. And here are some strategies and different ways that we can approach this to still help you get to that desired outcome.
Well, and I love to your point, there's different strategies that you can add in the current market space that may not have been as desirable 2 years ago, but very applicable now. Temporary rate buy downs, they can address people's challenges with payments. There's a high propensity that rates, albeit are going to likely continue to go up in the immediate future. But there's a lot of forecasting to predict that rates are going to go down. So I think that consumers are hearing that data. To your point, they're leery to jump in to purchase right now because they want to wait for rates. But the point that I always try to showcase is, that's fine, what's your motivation? But secondarily, what's that same home going to be valued at in 12 months? Maybe your payment is $300 more for the next 12 months and you're into it $3,600 more than if your rate was better. But did you miss out on $20,000 of appreciation? Because while that is decelerating to a certain amount, there's still appreciation that's happening in the area. And it's important to showcase there's ways to combat affordability in the immediate, but get on board with getting that asset so that you're gaining value, gaining that wealth. I think that there's a lot of information that we can share with our clients to help them make good decisions for their family.
Although a lot of people are really sad about the rates going up, I had a client in 2021 that we made multiple offers and they were well over list and we never got them. And they took a small break. I actually closed them last month and they were approved for $100,000 less. But because we weren't having to go $75,000 over, we got them a great house, better than any that we made offers on in 2021. So there's still deals out there to happen. It's just depending how you look at it.
Exactly. So essentially, we're all saying the same thing. But what I think I find a lot of success in is just using stuff like that as an example. So like in 2020, I had clients, best rates ever, and they were waiting because of the competition. And then now they're completely priced out because of the rates. So I tell my new clients that, I'm like, hey, I had some clients that waited in the best market with the best rates because of this. And now they can't afford to buy. I'm like, so don't be those people that just get priced out. I'm like, everything's always going to change essentially. Like now I can get you a good deal on the house and knock some money off. And yes, the rates are high. I'm like, but before rates were low and we had to offer 60 to 100,000 over asking. So, at the end of the day, it almost levels out. So the point is just to get into a house, make some equity, and then I use examples of people that I've already placed into a house. And I say, look at how much this person has made in equity. And I just let them make the decision. I'm never pushy. I just say, I acknowledge what the fear is, but I give them the opportunity to reflect on that and know that it's still a good deal to get in. So.
Yeah, you guys have to be their confidants. And if you guys, and not only for brokers, but for lenders as well, what are the 2 items that you guys are going to focus on in 2023, in this calendar year, that might move the needle a little bit for you? Or something that anyone in the audience or online right now can take that nugget and say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do differently in order to gain business, get some traction.
Education for me. Education of my partners, making sure they know of the products and opportunities that I have available at my fingertips, as well as educating potential buyers about opportunities to create their residence. Maybe it's a build versus finding something existing. Maybe it's a manufactured home over a stick built to address affordability challenges. But listening to the clients and then educating them on their options.
Learning, knowledge is power.
Yeah, lots of
knowledge
facets.
is power. Yeah. Well, we've got lots of classes.
I know. We have so much fun with that.
How about you, Sarah? Anything?
I think authenticity is one of those things that we mentioned this earlier, if you love what you do every day, that will make you attractive, right? And we know that generational wealth, no frown to anyone in the room, but there was a time when all realtors were gray-haired white men wearing suits. And big surprise, most generational wealth is sitting in the hands of people who look really similar to that. And if we can have you show up in your messy bun and your Ugg boots, or tall and handsome, or short and funny, or whatever is your brand, be yourself every day. No one's going to show up and buy their first house from someone who doesn't look, think, act, smell, touch, taste, and experience the world like they do. So I would say this year, if you just be your dang self, you'll go out there and find more people that want to do business, rather than focusing on, do realtors still wear handbags? What watch am I wearing? Is this my best realtor jacket, right? Forget all that. If you like to wear a t-shirt and jeans, somebody wants to buy a house from you because you're you. That would be my best encouragement.
Yeah. I've always said real estate is a contact sport, right? It's a relationship business. It's face-to-face. We're dealing with people's big dreams here and money. And to your point, just being out there and being visible, how you show up matters. What you post online matters. What you say to your clients when they say, well, how's the market? It's so depressing, right? How you react and respond to that is extremely important. How you build business and credibility, right? You need to be the opposite of that negative of the media, reinforce all the opportunity, and that's how you attract and grow more business. So for this year, one of my goals is just to be more visible and be more out there. I've done a lot of new things this year already that I typically am very uncomfortable doing, like running for Oregon president. But that is something I need to do to show everyone that I'm serious about my business, my sport, and that they can trust me for sound advice because I'm experiencing it. So just being out there and being visible, and like you said, showing up and being professional.
Huge.
We talk about being visible. Yeah, I mean, no better platform than on social media. How many, show of hands in this room, how many of you guys use social media for your business? Just about all of you, right? Just about all of you. Is there a tactic that you guys use in social media that seems to work? Because a lot of times, if you're not reaching the right people, social media can be great. It can be the complete opposite of that as well. But is there something on social media, Facebook or Instagram, that you guys are using?
I mean, that's what I was going to say, social media, just being on top of mind. I tell everybody that I'm a realtor. It's so funny because our office secretary, I get calls sometimes, and it's people who it's the wrong number. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay, but do you want to buy a house? I'm a realtor. And I've actually got an appointment, I'm not joking, for just somebody misstyling me, and I told them what I did, and we just started a conversation. But I just tell everyone what I do. And as far as like Instagram, so I had to do that for the whole acting and modeling thing, so I kind of like carry that over to this business. But I find polls to be super like engaging, so you just need to get your client engaged. Like for example, I picked up 3 buyers from a post that I did the other day. And I said, who stopped buying, like just from a show of hands, who stopped buying because of the rates? So I said, I set up a poll on Instagram that said me or not me. And then all the people that said me, like I'm like luring them in. And I'm like, hey, it's me. So I like message them and try to educate them on why it was still a good time to buy. So I feel like that's super important. And then also authenticity. So what you see is what you get. My boss, Craig, always, gives me stuff for wearing ripped jeans, but that's just my style. And I didn't want to change and wear a suit because I don't like dressing like that. Sometimes I show up to showings and I legit look homeless. I'm like, but my clients, and when I meet them for the first time, they'll just look at me up and down and then look at each other when it's a husband and wife. And then once I start talking and like to educate them on everything, they like let go of that. But obviously first impression, I'm not saying dress like this, but it does have a lot to do with it. But once they see that I'm authentic and that I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm saying, then they just look past that. But I think being yourself is super, super important.
Eduardo, you've got it on like this area that you may not even recognize. So this asking questions piece, right? Yeah. Lady has a baby. It's the most important day of her social media life. Post the picture with the baby. And there's 120 likes and there's 80 comments. And all the comments say, congratulations, 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 congrats, cute baby. And then we go in and we say, how was your labor? That woman, on the most important social media day of her life, passed up her best friend, her mom, maybe she liked their comments, to go into their realtor, to their lender and say, oh gosh, 24 hours. Oh, 24 hours, you wouldn't know it. I have 7 kids. I'll go into the message with you and tell you what 300 hours of my life have been in labor. I'm in Messenger talking to her, right? So 2 things are happening. 1, I'm building a relationship with her. And number 2, tomorrow when she opens her app, the algorithms say on the most important day of her life, not her mother, not her best friend, her freaking realtor was the most important person on the best day of her social media life, and one of only 2 people she exchanged messages with yesterday. So Eduardo, when you post that poll, you're pulling them into, he's like in a van, like, I got some candy, you know? Right. You're pulling them into Messenger to build this like private relationship with them. And the algorithms are going to reward you because they passed 7 other realtors that were like, look at my Starbucks, showing another home, showing another home. And it could be you. No, algorithms are going to show you every day.
And that's exactly the point, but without being in their throats about it. I'm like, gotcha.
Without a van.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because they choose. I love it.
I also like what you said, though. Like, perception is not always reality, correct?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty amazing. It's awesome how people do find business and clients. Okay. How can brokers and lenders work together to maximize the benefits to both buyers and sellers? This had to have been a Julie question, was it?
I don't know.
I mean, we on the title end of things, we're getting so many requests for classes from lenders now because we have, first of all, you've got time, right? Mm-hmm. And they want to be in front of realtors. And I think it's great we got to get back to the face-to-face stuff. Zoom is fine for certain things, but let's get back face-to-face. And I think that's a huge benefit. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is. But how can brokers and lenders work together to maximize the benefits?
Well, I think we need to listen to our clients. What are their needs? What's their why? And then build off of that. There's more teamwork and camaraderie that needs to go into every transaction, buy side, sell side, and lender side, and escrow side for that matter. Mm-hmm. Are they going to do a mobile notary? Is the seller suddenly in Mexico? Is the buyer and seller, in the same country? There's lots of different factors that need to be worked out so that it is a smooth close. But I think listening to the clients, for so long we were so busy that there was just really one way to get into contract, and that's highest and best, and just go with it. And now there's nuance, there's savviness, there's relationships, and you can do a little more homework on the property so clients don't feel as rushed to make a decision, which I think is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And so how can we make the client feel heard, address maybe some trepidation that they may face, and really help them to feel good about the decision that they're making. I think that's the key. And to be open. I mean, I had a client reach out a couple of weeks ago for a bridge loan. They applied for a bridge loan. I would never have fathomed that I would have put them into an FHA loan, but I did. This is their 3rd home. They're purchasing a new primary residence, and it made more sense to look at FHA financing now that they've lowered mortgage insurance premiums because they get a lower payment. They get a better interest rate, lower fees involved, and it's going to be a short-term loan, but there's no prepayment penalty. So it just worked out better in that space. I think being open to the idea that it may not look exactly the way you think going into it, but you can still achieve those goals in a fashion that maybe is better overall for what the client's trying to achieve. Because they often come into it saying, I want to apply for a conventional mortgage, or I want to apply for this. And I say, great, let's do that. But tell me about how long you plan on owning this property. Tell me, are you looking to purchase another home going forward? Because maybe putting 20% down on this one doesn't make as much sense as putting less down keeping your capital, making improvements, getting into that equity position so that when you do refinance, you have more equity and are able to get a more premium interest rate and better terms. But I mean, I think it's collaborative. And
That Y is going to hold it together.
Absolutely.
If you have to move because you're getting a divorce, that will always help you close.
it is a great driver.
Right? Know their why. I mean, that was Alex's point earlier, is this thought of like, that's going to be what closes it, and no one's going to care what the interest rate is on that day.
I would add, like, you know, given the state of the financial market, right, I think it's just be prepared. It's going to take more work to help these clients, these buyers, you know. They have their own personal challenges, right, like we all do. And so just understanding that it's going to take more time. Asking those right questions, finding the right products, the different products, right? Not just assuming everyone's going to fit into this box here and is ready to go and they've got their 20% down. Really just focusing on the why and asking better questions, and, you know, just giving them time too. People definitely need time to figure that all out, and, you know, that's hard for us, but if you keep the dialogue going, then you'll be the first person that they come back to.
How do you guys see realtors remaining authentic when every single lead is almost important for them for survival right now? When you have that one lead, because let's be honest, leads are as big as ever right now, right?
I think clients can see right through that. If you're hungry, if you're desperate, if your heart is not in the right place, they're going to see it. They're going to feel it. So I think it's not something you can learn. It's something you are. You're authentic or you're not.
And I like the getting to know them. Better to have a referral check and find them the perfect agent for them who's somebody else in your office than to hold on so tight so that then they just go, you know, dump you.
How about this? In this particular market right now, what do you guys think the biggest barrier for real estate professionals is? What's the one thing that is it rates? Is it
finding
inventory?
Motivated clients? Motivated clients.
Perception of affordability.
Clients. No, that's good. I mean, expand on that, Alex. I mean,
like that, like no matter what, like you brought up divorce as an example, there will be reasons why people still have to transact, why they have to downsize, move. It's not just, you know, buying their first home, but it is still, you know. So I think just, again, you know, finding motivated people, showing up and holding open houses, being willing to do those types of activities, because that's where buyers will show up. They're active, they're motivated, they don't want to bother their friend, their realtor, or someone else they know. They just want to be looky and casual about it. Well, that's where you're going to find more motivated people, right? Building relationships. I got my first probate deal ever, and have now established a relationship with an attorney and working to build that. Like, you just have to start looking at where the places are where people are going to naturally have to go to when they have to do this.
Back to the realtor question, I think I read a lot of books, and I think that having a scarcity mentality is almost more scary than any market, you know, could ever scare you. There's a lot of business. There's a lot of people that want to buy, that want to sell. It's always going to be a demand. This is why I got into it, because I'm like, I need to get into it where I'm not going to fail again. So I'm like, real estate is always going to be something that is going to be needed. And I think, like, when the market started changing, I got fearful, obviously, like everybody else, but then I went back to what I read of not having a scarcity mentality. Like, you can call for sale by owners, you can do door knocking, you can tell people at your gym, tell people like in your community, in your church. Like, there's so many ways to get business. And when people, I have had realtor friends who are like, oh, I can't get any business. And I'm like, well, then, like, what are you doing to get business? They're like, well, and I'm like, yeah, well, like, nobody's just going to fall on your lap. Like, you have to put the work to get the clients. And I feel like as long as you wake up and you're actively pursuing, trying to get clients, that they're going to come to you. I want to stay with that mindset, and I don't ever want to change. And I'm like, there's going to be people that are going to come to me just naturally because I'm almost manifesting that out there.
Yeah. I like that a lot. With real estate, the good thing is everyone's always going to need a home, right? You know, everyone's always going to need a home. So if anyone's sitting here thinking 2003 or 2023, is they're not sure what to do, would give you 3 choices to do. I think educate your clients and yourself. You know, I'm a huge advocate of education. And also focus on your relationships. I think, sending out thank you cards, calling people, taking them to coffee, things like that. And the last one, which everyone on the stage is really well known for, is volunteerism. Some of my best friends are sitting in this room that I met through volunteering at EMAR. And I can see a lot of people shaking their heads, which I see a lot of great volunteers in the audience. So,
Yes, give it up for the volunteers right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And Julie, you and I talked backstage. In the lending world, you've got to be creative now because people just have cold feet, right? They're just like, I'm going to wait. And you're probably hearing that way too many times in a day for your own good. But the creativity part, what is the most creative thing that you guys have done in order to gain a transaction or gain a new client? Someone maybe you've closed 3 or 4 times with already. Is there one thing creatively that you did that was maybe different than anyone else?
I'm loving food drive flyers. Has anybody done a food drive? Door knocking, can feel kind of tough for a lot of people to go out with your, piece of advertising and stick it on their door. But if that piece of advertising is on the back of a list of the 10 most needed items for a local food bank, and you stick it to a bag and you're going out and putting those on people's doors, it can be a food drive, it can be a school supply drive, it can be socks in the wintertime or pajamas for foster kids. And if your own neighborhood, your own farm, sees you and you put a QR code so that you can, start the lead generating element of it, that's one I'm seeing have a ton of fruit. And then 2 weeks later, you get to go door knock them again with a picture of you standing by the scale, how much we raised. That I see really a cool way to get in people's houses.
I had a client who, and I may have brought this up last year because it was sometime early in the pandemic before everything felt like it was being shut down, but he was in the mountain biking community, and he decided on a Saturday or Sunday that he was going to go to a new spot that he'd never been before. What he did was he brought coffee and donuts right where everyone was gathering. Everyone showed up for their ride through the forest or the trail or wherever it was, and that's how he got a chance to know the people that were coming there. Hey, by the way, I do real estate. I had a conversation with them, and so I think that was super important, and I was like, wow. Just the lengths people will go. It doesn't seem like that's that difficult, but something like that, just to make a better connection with someone. He told me he gained 2 clients out of that one day.
Well, everybody does love donuts.
Yeah. Well,
to a point. I deliver donuts to my office building every month on a consistent schedule, and I think by month 4, they're like, Alex, no more Krispy Kreme. You're not helping my diet goals, you're not helping, but it did work, it was effective.
Just
I definitely got
feel
business from that.
You gotta go Blue Star, that's it.
Blue Star, okay,
Blue Star's
maybe.
it, yeah.
I wanna go back actually, one very effective technique that I use in my business on social media is I always call it taking the online offline. So yeah, you see those big moments in their life, and yeah, you can just comment like they said about, getting lost in that whole, comment chain, but you just call them and say, hey, I just saw your post, congratulations, I'm so happy for you, and just have a conversation. And they might not, pick up the call because they're so busy having a baby, right, for that example, but if you left a nice, heartwarming voicemail, they will remember that, and they will call you back, and that's how I'm able to just have more conversations with people. I'm looking for reasons to call people all the time, right? And my other line I use all the time, I just drove by your house and thought of you, and so how's life? Tell me what's going on, whatever it is. So you just want to get in more dialogue with people all the time. That's very effective for me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'd like to hear from Julie, because one creative thing that you do that I think all of us have seen is your podcast.
No. Well, I do lots of videos, lots of clips and reels.
Yeah.
And I try to make them succinct, less than a minute, and relative to what people are searching for, what I think consumers are searching for. So I literally go to answerthepublic.com. What are people searching for mortgage-wise in Oregon, Washington, West Coast? And then I look at the little wheel as to how many people are searching for what. And then I address 2 or 3 of those questions, and 1 or 2 of those videos will make it through my compliance department.
It's brilliant to keep them under a minute. I didn't realize you do that, but now that I think about it, you do.
I try to, and then I've learned early on, no one listens. They want captions.
We're aging.
Yeah, so always put captions in there because
pictures.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's been an interesting space, I started aggressively putting a system together and sticking with it from August of 2022, 2021 through now. And it's consistently yielding me business. I can't deny the merits that are there, but I've learned a lot. To your point, you brought up sometimes you don't always get the right audience, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've been very strategic. I've talked to peers that have also created big spaces, and one of my peers had this amazing following on TikTok. And I'm like, I'm scared of TikTok. I don't understand it. I don't participate in it, and I don't know what to do there. And he goes, I've got 13,000 followers on TikTok. And I'm like, that's amazing. And he goes, yeah, they're all under the age of 15. And he goes, so it's not, I didn't attract the right audience with the content that I was putting out there. So I think it's important to be aware of who you're getting as an audience. And all of these social media platforms generate that data for you and send it to you. Mm-hmm. I mean, they couldn't make it much easier. I don't understand what I'm reading, but there's smart people out in the audience with lawyer's title that can help us understand and disseminate that data and make it work for us, because you need to be authentic. People can totally see through when you're not being you.
Yeah.
But we don't want to wait 10 years for them to be pre-approvable.
In 5 years, he's doing good.
That was a big red flag. No, you guys are right. Consistency is key. We cannot hammer that point home enough in all realms of real estate, whether it's title, escrow, real estate as well. What or who do you guys think is the biggest untapped resource right now for real estate professionals?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay,
Sarah's
I'm not just doing this for high fives. There are 10 people who cash a check because you close a deal. And I'm curious if, there's 10 to 12, I'll give some wiggle room even. I'm curious if the panel can name them all.
Say that again.
Okay, on the day that you close your transaction, 10 people also got paid in that. Who else got paid? You, the realtor,
Inspector,
the home inspector,
on closing.
The client,
the seller,
escrow,
the lender. No one said lender yet.
Lender.
What else?
appraiser,
The appraiser,
The firm. There's
your
two
brokerage.
firms.
You're asking more from your brokerage than you ever had before.
Homeowners
Who else?
insurance.
The insurance company, photographer.
That was a good one.
Maybe you had a contractor out there. Maybe you had a landscaper out there. Maybe you had a house cleaning lady out there. Maybe you had a stager out there.
home warranty.
This is, who else? My boo. I love that guy. Okay. Right? This is your game. We are going into trench warfare right now. And if you take these 12 people and say, do you want to survive? Right? Average realtor does not celebrate their second year in the business. Average loan officer does not celebrate their 5th year in the business. 1 out of 100 real estate agents will celebrate their 5th year in the business. This is trench warfare. Like, you have to find these 12 people in your life and tell them, I want you to survive. I want me to survive. Now let me in your database. Let's get in your phone. You have 1,000 contacts in there. Let's all put them in homes.
Get in my business.
Yes. Come to
Do
one
this.
of my lead generation classes.
Come to
I will
mama.
teach you how to do it.
Here's a great question. What lessons have you guys learned from the challenges that you faced in this market, and how have you used these experiences to improve your business practice? It's good.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I am on way too many Zoom meetings than I prefer, but they are efficient, right? So it's just, I definitely, we have that Calendly sign-up link for people to set up consults with us. We hold consults with clients all the time via Zoom now. Actually, I use that as a training opportunity because I can use the record function. I actually had a buyer consult who came into the office, sat down, and I said, hey, is it okay if I turn on my Zoom so my team can listen in? So, just so you know, we're all on board. We're here to help you find the right home. And I need them to tune into this. And the clients were comfortable, and my team got to tune in because they didn't want to come in it just made more sense, right? So taking advantage of the technology, incorporating it into all different aspects of my business.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, guys. Do you guys learn something out there today? Yeah? A little bit? Inspire you a little? Yeah. Well, this has not only been fun, but it has been informative, and I really appreciate all 5 of you, your time, your expertise, and I think we've all learned a thing or two about coping in an uncertain environment. So Lisa, Julie, Sarah, Eduardo, and Alex, thank you guys so much. Give them a round of applause. Thanks again. Yeah. I'm not ready to ditch.
I'm just getting comfortable.
You were
Don't worry
just-
about me, Adam. You're on a timer.
Bring it. That's a long timer.
I know. We don't have time.
And we're almost done. I'm not ready to ditch the galoshes and the raincoat, though, just quite yet. So in this market, because I know there's a rainbow waiting for all of us. But for those in the audience, both here and online, don't go away just yet. We've got the current State Director for Oregon Realtors and 2020 Oregon Realtor of the Year, Jill Russell, on hand to share some more insights on RPAC. So, plus we also have the raffle coming up. So, Ms. Russell, the floor is yours. There she is. Hi, Jill.
Hi, guys.
She's got her mic. Yeah.
Now I'm going to stand over here. I don't want my back to be to all of you.
I came here for this.
So I'm here to ask for more money. Greg did a really good job earlier, but I'm your RPAC participation chair for the National Association of Realtors for the state of Oregon, so you get to hear me today. Yay! So I want to take it back to March 2020. Do you remember trying, first of all, we didn't know if we'd be able to sell any houses. Who learned how to bake bread? Anyone do puzzles?
I started a hydro garden.
Puzzles. Yeah, the puzzles, baking bread. And we weren't sure what was going to happen. We didn't know what was going to happen. We were a little scared. And then who remembers having a mask on? You have gloves on, you have booties on, you've got hand sanitizer in your hands, you've got all sorts of things that you're trying to shuffle on your phone because you got to get into the lockbox trying to show houses. And I think the worst part about that was going upstairs with the mask on and huffing and puffing by the time you got to the top of the stairs. Yeah, so that was phenomenal. And the neat thing about all of that and the problems that we went through is that our state and our national realtors made sure that we were essential workers and that we could do what we do. And continue to do our jobs. And so I think we were all a little panicked for the first couple of weeks, but everything went well. And as you saw from Lawrence June's chart, we all had a fantastic year in 2020 and 2021. So when people ask why give to RPAC, I know we tell you all these great things, but really when it comes down to it, they're here for us. And they're here for our clients. And they lobby for us in our business and our industry. And they lobby for your clients and their ability to protect private property rights. So Greg touched on the being able to do exchanges. Mortgage interest deductions, they're going to come at us every single year until they figure out how to crack that nut. And so the state of Oregon and the National Association is working on our behalf to make sure that we still have that perk for homeowners.
Thank you.
And have to look at my notes, sorry, and I probably needed glasses, like you said. Nope, I'm good.
You can borrow them.
And the one thing that, I don't know if you guys remember, but Measure 79, they were going to put transfer taxes on the sale of houses in Oregon. And we made a constitutional amendment to make sure that didn't happen. So I know Washington and some other places have transfer taxes. So I know Greg talked a lot about, the reds or the R's or the D's. We're the purple party, and we support both sides, and we do that because what's important to our clients is important to us, that they can get in a home, they can live in that home, and build generational wealth. So I'm here to talk about the power of small, really small. And I'm here today because I'm talking about participation. And participation in RPAC. Do you guys know what the minimum contribution is that you have to make in order to invest in your business? $15. Good job, Rochelle, $15. So I'm here to ask for $15. I come from Klamath Falls, Oregon. I come from a very small association. Klamath Falls, I know. I've got friends, not high school, even junior high friend here. So exciting, Jason. I haven't seen him forever. So I come from a small association, but I sit on an NAR committee. We ask a lot from the major investors to give $1,000, but what I want to tell you today is $15 means the world. And the biggest stat I can give you is there's basically about 1.6 million realtors, I think was the last count that I heard when I was down in Cancun at the President Circle Conference. It was pretty great. Yep. But if all 1.6 million members gave to RPAC, we'd have $24 million a year to fight for our clients and to fight for our business and to do what we do. So I love all you major investors, and once again, thank you for stepping up, but I really love the small donors that give us that $15. And that grassroots is how we do what we do, and we're able to keep all that in mind. So that's my pitch today, but I've got some swag. So if you do participation this year, we now have magnets, and I think they can go on your car or go other places. So if you haven't given your $15, I don't know how many magnets I have, but whoever proves to me that they have given their $15 today, I think they're going to put that QR code back up. You can come up and pick out one of the magnets. And so first come, first choice. And I think that's all I have to say today. But you guys are amazing. This is a great meeting. And the panel, holy moly, you guys had amazing ideas too. So I really appreciate you letting me come here to speak to you today. And I really didn't need the snow. We have plenty in Klamath. But thanks for making me feel welcome.
Thank you, Jill. Good stuff. Thank you, Jill Russell, and thank you to all the EMAR members for supporting RPAC and the work that they continue to do. Okay, we have concluded the streaming portion of today's EMAR Super Meeting. Those of you in person, stick around. We're going to have the raffle here coming up. Once again, I'm Adam Bjornson with Lawyer's Title, and to everyone here and everyone online, and on behalf of EMAR and all the sponsors, thank you guys for sharing your day with us. We do appreciate it. Now it is time for me to yield the floor to the man that began the day, Mr. Rod Barker, EMAR President.
Woo. All right, let's try. It's upside down. No. Let's try it again. Over here, super.
Super.
Meeting.
Again.
Super. Meeting.
This has been amazing today. The panel was on fire. I mean, talk about in Fuego. That is amazing. I have to tell you a quick little story. Not going to keep you a long time. My wife always gets worried when I say I'm going to tell a story, but this is so amazing about it. One of your fellow realtors right here in the room, Lisa Bettendorf. All right, Lisa, I'm going to tell the story. Last year at Halloween, I said, we need some help setting up. And she said she would come and help set up in our parking lot, Mount Hood Realty in Troutdale. Now, she's not part of us. She's part of another group, called Premier Group. So she came over with her family and helped us set up in our parking lot for a Halloween event to actually gain clients for our agents, because we handed out candy. We had about 250 people show up for it. It was pouring rain. She was soaked. Her and her family helped us set up for that. That's what realtors do for each other. Give her a hand. Absolutely amazing. Now, we do have a couple things here left. Number one is the meeting is coming to an end, unfortunately. I hate that. But I want to thank everybody that was here with us virtually. Thanks, you guys that was here with us virtually. You're amazing. Everybody here in the room, I love being here with you. I'm so thankful that the pandemic is lifting the thumb upon us a little bit and we can be together again. I love that. It's so awesome. Okay, so now a few people to thank here. More than a few, but I'm only going to mention a few. Number one, Lee Toft. Give him a hand. My God, Lee, you are just amazing. Angie Setzer. Hand for the whole committee that set up the super meeting. Come on, let them hear from you. like I said, I'm not going to mention everybody. One more, got to mention him, Mike Schultz. Mike, you're amazing. Mike works day and night. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this. You can you contact him at like 10, 11 at night because I have done it. And he actually picks up. Mike, you should quit picking up. All right, you guys, thank you so much. We have a raffle to go. Angie, I believe you're going to come up. I think you have other help. Jason Gooey. President-elect Jason Gooey. Exactly. Won't you be thankful when Jason takes over? All right. Somebody needs this mic. Or should I start telling stories?